One thing that I noticed is that a lot of new players don't properly understand the 4 different roles of Valorant, that being duelist, controller, sentinel, and initiator. And the reason why even inspired me to make this video was this video I saw a while back, which had some very questionable takes.
Most of the initiators are just as good as doing that as, say, Phoenix or Reyna. Chamber isn't a sentinel. One of my friends plays both Breach and Phoenix, and she plays them almost identically.
Oh my god!
And I would go as far as saying that this video is actually straight up harmful for new players because it gets so much information just straight up incorrect. So in today's video, I'm going to be disputing some of these claims he makes and hopefully properly explain all 4 of the roles in Valorant, starting off with controller.
Our first class, controllers, is by far the most distinguishable class.
I would actually argue that controller is the least distinguished role when it comes to all of the 4 different roles because the playstyle of these agents vary from agent to agent and often mimic the 3 other classes. We got the controllers that often play like duelists like Clover Omen who can make very aggressive plays, Viper who plays like a sentinel because you have to pre-place all her util and is really good for locking down a position with her in-place gas, and we have Brimstone and Astra who play like initiators because they're able to usually help set up their team to get picks by using a series of stim beacons, mollies, concusses, gravity wells, etc. Like the overall playstyle of controller varies heavily from agent to agent and can vary from being extremely passive to being very aggressive. The only factor that kind of ties all these agents together is the fact that they all have very useful smoke util, which is basically essential to winning any Valorant ranked game. On attack, you're going to want to be smoking off important sightlines for the enemies when holding a site. And on defense, you're going to want to be smoking off the main entrances to a site to make pushing through them way harder, because when someone goes through a smoke, their gun will stick out first, then their head, basically meaning that if you are holding the smoke, you will see the enemy first before they see you. The next role we are going to be talking about are the sentinels, which are the agents who specialize in locking down an area and making retaking that spot a living hell. On attack, your job is to watch flank if you have any util that allows you to do that, or to actually set up site once your team actually ends up successfully taking it. While on defense, your job will mainly be to lock down one of the sites and basically make pushing it a living hell.
Sage has always felt like a fake sentinel to me. One of the most valuable things about sentinels is their ability to consistently detect flanks.
Although it is very annoying that Sage as a sentinel doesn't have any form of flank watch, that doesn't stop her from being a proper sentinel because, as we just said earlier, the main job of a sentinel is to lock down an area and make retaking it much more harder. Sage is really good at buying time because combined with her wall and slow orb, she can make sometimes pushing a choke point feel practically impossible until you wait out the util, because yes, you can shoot the wall, but for the slow orb, you're just gonna have to wait it out, because if you do try going through it, you're practically going to become a sitting duck and become a very easy target to kill, fulfilling her job as a sentinel because she can stall a push pretty well.
Chamber isn't a sentinel. He has one ability, his little shitty scanner thing, trademark, and that is his only claim to being a sentinel. He just simply doesn't fit nicely into any of the classes.
No, Chamber very much also is a sentinel through and through, because with Chamber, you are the sentinel setup. Instead of relying on a turret, trips, or anything like that, Chamber instead primarily relies on playing in weird ass angles and having a get out jail free card. The idea being that you can very aggressively hold a site, and if you're in trouble, you can simply TP away. Yes, Chamber can do some very aggressive things on attack, but his main job will always be defensive at the end of the day. And now let's go on to initiators, and this is the part that many people misunderstand often.
If the duelist label is the least useful label in Valorant, initiator is easily the most misunderstood. Like, initiating what exactly?
The main job of an initiator is often to util for your teammates, like finding out where the enemies are for them to make getting kills easier, flashing for your teammates, or debuffing the enemies.
But the main thing that distinguishes them from duelists is their info gathering abilities, which allow them to clear a large amount of space.
This is not true because although a lot of initiators do have some form of info gathering, many initiators either don't have any info gathering at all or have very little.
So which initiator doesn't have this? Breach. I think both Breach and Raze are both basically on the line between duelist and initiator.
Okay, I just got a stroke after listening to that, but no. Breach is 100% an initiator because his entire kit is set up to support his team. You're supposed to flash and concuss for your duelist, and you're supposed to use your aftershock to get somebody off of an angle they are holding. Yes, you can technically util for yourself, but it will always be more effective if you do it for a teammate. And this is for a reason we will cover in a second.
KO and Phoenix are almost identical in terms of abilities. 3 of them are the same. Both have a molly, both have a flash, and both have an ult that give them an extra life. So what's different?
The difference primarily lies in the timings for abilities. For example, for most duelist abilities, you will pull out your gun faster than if you were playing an initiator, because the main focus is for you to util for your team. This is also why you can usually have more control of your utility as an initiator, like being able to fly your flash, having a flash that goes further on KO, or being able to send it through a wall on breach. The main goal is so you can just properly position it to help your teams. Meanwhile, this freedom is not present on someone like Phoenix because you're only able to usually just throw it around the corner and that's it, only being able to flash for yourself and not for your team.
That being said, like most initiators with flashes could make their own entry. So why isn't Sky a duelist? Why not KO? This is where I want to stress again that the main thing differentiating duelists and initiators in Valorant as they have them now is the ability to gather info.
And this is why I would say this video is actively harmful for new players, because it is effectively telling new players to play initiators incorrectly. Yes, you can use initiator util for yourself, but it will always be more effective if you use it for your team like the game intended it. But now let's finally talk about the last role, that being duelist. The job of a duelist is to take space by going in first with the support of your own util and your initiator's util. There are currently 2 different types of duelists, that being movement duelists just like Neon, Jet, and Raze, and self-sufficient duelists such as ISO, Reyna, and Phoenix. The main job of a movement duelist is to overwhelm the enemy with your movement, because when an enemy is holding a site, normally they are holding a choke point. With a movement duelist, you are able to dash past the choke point and get onto site, making it that now not only does the enemy have to worry about the main choke point where your team is, but they will also have to worry about you who is currently on site. Usually your team will also help out movement duelists by providing them with flashes, scans, etc. While on the other hand, the self-sufficient duelists primarily take gunfights head-on by just peeking with some kind of advantage, that being either a flash or a shield if you're talking about ISO. And the main thing you will notice about duelist utility is that it is designed for you to use for yourself and not for your team. For example, for Raze, you can nade for yourself while you're pushing, clear something with a bomb buddy, or blast pack in. You can technically use it for your team, but the main focus will usually be for yourself. And that's all 4 of the Valorant roles explained. If I helped clear up any misinformation, hit the like button below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Goodbye.